Welcome back to News First on PNC. The Department of Education went up against lawmakers today for their budget hearing. PNC's Rizal Romanes reports that DOE was questioned about its priorities.
The Department of Education is requesting for a budget of about $328 million for fiscal year 2016. That's about $94 million more, or a 40% increase from last fiscal year's appropriation. This prompted a lot of questions from lawmakers, including what DOE's priorities are. According to DOE Superintendent John Fernandez's letter to the legislature, one of the major components of the requested budget increase is due to capital improvement, but that statement was challenged.
So you broke ground for the office space, but we haven't broken ground for the repair of the schools.
Correct. The RFP is in process, and that procurement is in process. For hopefully this summer we'll be able to move that quickly along.
I liken it to parents deciding to wait for the second opinion on whether or not corrective surgery is needed for any of the children, but instead decided to do cosmetic surgery for themselves or expand the kitchen at the house. It's unconscionable.
Fernandez says building Tizan High School was DOE's first priority to help alleviate overcrowding at George Washington High School. After Tizan High was completed, Fernandez says since the opportunity and funds were available, he decided to use it to build a new headquarters for DOE.
I disagree with you, Vice Speaker, about the prioritization of our schools versus our administrative uses as being the sole way of referring to this situation. As you know, $90 million in deferred maintenance did not occur overnight. Even though I made Tizan High School a priority, the fact that the legislature and the governor both had agreed that administrative uses were an appropriate use, I decided that I would take advantage of it and use it to do a couple things. Well, number one was to provide a necessary space to consolidate all our operations at Tizan. Number two was to free up space at Chief Brody as well as at the PD land.
Cruz then asked Fernandez about the possible need of expanding Tizan High School if there is an anticipated increase in enrollment. Fernandez says they're looking at about 1,600 students this coming school year. He says if needed, students will be occupying the two wings DOE is utilizing now for offices that will become vacant in a few months when they move to the new $27 million DOE headquarters.
So when we finish, central office will have brand new office space, but Tizan High School will be occupying buildings that are as old as I'll just end with saying that there was $27 million that could have gone to brand new classrooms and you could have moved into the old building. But I'm sorry that it was determined to be the other way around. I'm appalled at the priority.
DOE is also asking for $12 million to replenish funds that will be used to cover operations shortfall in FY16. According to the letter, the department anticipates about $5 million in shortfall from the Territorial Facilities Fund. Fernandez brought up that DOE is really concerned about TEF funds and how projections over the past 2 fiscal years have been much higher than actual collections.
What we're most concerned about is that we're building our budget and we're expending that budget based on cash that we can anticipate.
Rizal Romanes, PNC News.
And Fernandez says DOE will be meeting with the Guam Education Board tomorrow, where he'll be updating the board on the status of taking DOE off of high-risk grantee status and getting higher reimbursement for food services.